We have three stories that you have to see tonight on the late news at 11. First up, concert chaos right here in Orlando. People running for their lives after they think they hear gunshots in the crowd. What you need to do if you're ever in a situation like this. Plus, they're creepy, they're crawly, and these things are the size of your hand. But are they more like the Black Widow or Charlotte's Web? And there's no debate here. The person who took this video says even the sound of this was terrifying. We have a big night of news right here on the late news at 11. Let's get started.
Fox 35 Late News at 11 starts now.
And thanks so much for joining me here on the late news at 11. I'm John Brown, and we're going to blast right off into this newscast. And that's because SpaceX is about to send some more Starlink satellites up into space. And so we're going to bring in Noah Bergen. He's joining me right now to talk about the nice night for a launch. So far, so good on the technical side. How about the weather side, though?
You know, the wind is sustained out there a little stronger than it is inland, probably about 10, 15 miles an hour. Generally, that's below their threshold, but, 20 plus miles an hour, it can get a little hairy. So I think it's going to be okay, but, it's up to them. If it gets within a few miles an hour of them, I'm sure it'll be pretty close.
Yep, and you can see it back here behind us right now, 30 seconds to liftoff. And again, this is those Starlink satellites, so it's a beautiful launch. You should be able to see it for long ways here. And again, they're always spectacular. It's that Starlink, which is blanketing, not blanketing the Earth, but we're blanketing internet.
Really, it's crazy how many are up there now. It's,
big numbers,
if
thousands.
You don't know, there's tens of thousands up there now.
All right, so let's listen in. We're about to have the launch, and we'll see you right after this.
6, 5, 4.
All right, as you see right there, same thing that took Crew 7 into orbit back in August. And again, those are always spectacular. Reminds us of how much we love living here, because you're not going to see that anywhere else.
Nope.
I love it.
And you can see that probably from really far away tonight, because there's no humidity and the atmosphere is just crystal clear.
But if you happen to run outside, maybe in your robe or PJs, time to run back inside, because it's cold out there right now.
You want to do the really go outside? Look at it. I'd love to. No,
I don't.
It's pretty easy.
But the morning, it's going to be really chilly out there.
Probably one of the coldest mornings of the whole winter, actually, tomorrow. It'll be close to it. Temperatures for the actual thermometer readings will be in the 40s everywhere. Some 30s, especially north of town. 46 at 6, 47 at 8. Probably going to be totally sunny. Grab the sunglasses with you as you head out the door tomorrow to work and/or school. 54 is the reading right now in Orlando, 54 at Titusville, 56 Cocoa Beach. And the big thing is with those launches, and you might not even realize this, but they've got meteorologists that look way offshore as these things go, because one of the things that is lesser known with the launches that is weather impacted is clear air lightning. Even if there's no thunderstorm near Cape Canaveral, what can happen, and they're very cognizant of this, is the lightning and clear air can strike the device from very far away. So that's something, even if there's just cumulus clouds nearby, they're very mindful for. There you see those sustained winds and gusts tonight, pretty up there. Here's the low temperatures across the area tomorrow morning. 38 Ocala, 43 Orlando, 44 in Bithlo. Here's what it'll feel like, though, with that northerly wind tomorrow morning. Potentially feeling like 32 in the Villages, 30 in Gainesville, 39 in Orlando, 43 in Titusville. So grab a jacket and the sunglasses tomorrow morning. It's a beautiful day, but we've got rain on the way as we head towards the Christmas holiday. We'll go through the extended forecast for you in just a few minutes. John?
Yeah, but how about that wild weekend? The weekend storm left behind quite a bit of damage, especially along the coast, as you see right behind me here. Parts of A1A came very close to just sliding off into the ocean, and this is what it looked like there in Ormond by the Sea. Some of the ground near the highway washed away. It's fixed now, but people who live in that area say it's happening far too often.
They just keep patching it up. They're dropping all those rocks over there, throwing the dirt over it. Next storm, it all washes away.
FDOT tells us they're trying to put together a more permanent fix in that area, and that includes buried seawalls in Ormond by the Sea and also up in Flagler Beach. And the effects of that storm felt across much of the state. Here's a look at what it did in St. Petersburg. You can see electrical sparks traveling along a power line. Wow, that's wild. The person who posted the video says even the sound of the electrical surge was terrifying. She also wrote that the storm caused quite a bit of damage. It flooded some streets there and even knocked out power in her neighborhood. Also making news, chaos at a rap concert in downtown Orlando. People thought they heard gunshots and they started running for their lives. And Fox 35's Hannah McKenzie is live in the studio with this exclusive story. So Hannah, this happened Friday night and more videos keep surfacing even into today.
Yeah, John, you're exactly right. Videos just like the one beside me here. Now, folks, OPD told me that officers were called to the Amway Center, and after investigating, they actually found no shots had been fired, but a loud noise sent hundreds of people out running.
You know, Hannah, and this is kind of interesting too, because we were watching one of the videos and one of the guys said, no, it's all fine. He kind of got trampled. So do you run with the crowd? What did he say about getting prepared for something like this?
Well, there are definitely some top tips. I know the exact video that you were talking about, but here are the tips. So eyes on the exits. Locate multiple ways to get out or away from any possible threat, and do not wait around. If you think there is trouble, just go. Also, don't feel pressured to run with that crowd, John. Just choose the safest route. To avoid being trampled, try to get to the sides and work your way in the direction that you need to go. And then that last tip is create a reunification plan, a meetup spot to find anyone that you may become separated from. And it's best to do all of this before you even get to the event, because preparation is key.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, thanks, Hannah. Also breaking news tonight, the One Pulse Foundation says the city of Orlando will now lead the process on creating a memorial. The organization sent out what will be its final email. It says that Mayor Buddy Dyer has met with the board of that foundation to talk about the work that's gone into the Pulse Memorial so far. The city of Orlando took ownership of the Pulse property a few weeks ago, and then the foundation dissolved shortly after that. Also developing tonight, double DUI. First, a deputy is accused of being passed out drunk behind the wheel and then crashing her car into land when officers woke her up. Then, while they were investigating that case, another driver crashed into their vehicle. And Fox 35's Patrick Perez is live in Volusia County where it all went down. So Patrick, what do you know about this one?
John, it was a really wild night for these officers and deputies. This all happened right behind me here at this intersection of Taylor and Woodland in DeLand. Police say not only did Simpson refuse to do a breath test, she also refused to do a field sobriety exam. She is also facing a citation for careless driving. She spent about a few hours in jail before bonding out early Saturday morning. That is the latest here in DeLand. I'm Patrick Perez, Fox 35 News.
Thanks, Patrick. Also tonight, here are 3 stories happening across the country that you need to know about. First up, the governor of Texas signed a bill that lets police arrest migrants who enter the country illegally. Governor Greg Abbott approved the new powers today that will allow police to arrest those migrants. It also gives local judges the authority to order them to leave the country. Opponents call the measure the most dramatic attempt by a state to police immigration since the 2010 Arizona law dubbed Show Me Your Papers bill. That one was largely struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court. Up next, oil giant BP just became the latest company to suspend shipments throughout the Red Sea. This follows attacks by rebel groups from Yemen that are trying to disrupt the global oil shipping over the weekend. 14 attack drones were shot down on Saturday by the USS Carney. And today, 2 more ships were attacked while operating there in the Red Sea. 4 of the top 5 shipping companies in the world have already suspended operations in the Red Sea. Now, the rebels there claim that they're only attacking ships that are doing business with Israel. But in recent days, their missiles have targeted vessels that have no ties to Israel. And then this story, a large volcanic eruption is currently underway in Iceland. The volcano is about 50 miles southwest of the country's capital. Police evacuated one nearby town last month after strong seismic activity damaged homes and raised fears of this eruption. The country's utility company says it is now endangering all the power lines there too. Iceland's president says it's not yet clear how much damage this eruption is going to cause. Coming up next, it's not clear if these parachuting spiders will invade Florida. Yes, parachuting spiders. But one scientist says he has a pretty good idea of whether or not we should be worried about them. And this thrift store find turns out to be an Italian-made masterpiece. When you hear how much it's worth, you might feel sorry for the person that just gave it away to Goodwill. All right, and our night lights take us to Italy tonight. There's a look at Vatican City 1 week before Christmas. And you're watching the late news at 11 right here on Fox 35.
These lucky Fox 35 viewers just won $500.
I'm kind of in shock.
Watch Good Day Orlando weekday mornings. Get the secret word and enter it at fox35orlando.com. It's the Fox 35 Holiday Cash Giveaway.
Very exciting.
And there's a new winner every week. You could be next.
Keep it all local all morning.
With Good Day Orlando. All right, first was the Burmese python. Now researchers say the spider behind me could be Florida's next invasive species. That thing's huge, by the way. It can grow up to be 8 inches wide and can build these big multi-layered webs. Fox 35's Teresa Priolo has a look at why scientists say we don't need to be too scared of these guys, though. Yeah, but they're huge. Researchers say that more emphasis should be put on preventing invasive species instead of controlling them at this point. A study from the University of Florida analyzed around 400 species, and they found 4 right now pose the biggest risk here in Florida. The alewife fish, the zebra mussel, the crab-eating macaque, which is a monkey, and the red swamp crayfish.
We consider that in 2019, we had about $423 billion in losses to invasive species globally. It's these kind of prevention efforts that are important.
Now, the authors of this study say that states should revisit lists like this every 5 years or so to see which species should be added or removed from those lists. Well, we've been showing you Jolene quite a bit for months now, and now you can see her for yourself at Gatorland. Fox 35's David Martin takes us inside the baby gator marsh to see how she's doing on day 1 in her brand new habitat. And she's already got some friends. That's so cool. Well, coming up next, we all know that we need to have a budget, right? But if you still have some gifts that you need to buy, we have some tips that could save you some big-time cash. Plus, 2/3 of Americans consider their holiday trip home to be a vacation. And that group needs to hear this piece of advice to avoid becoming a Grinch.
Keep it all local all morning.
With Good Day Orlando. Well, we are in the home stretch for holiday shopping, and you can really set yourself up for financial troubles if you don't stick to a budget. We all know that. But here are a few rules that you might find helpful to start the new year off right. First up, experts say make a list of the people that you want to buy gifts for. That's going to help cut back on the impulse buys. Next up, if you feel like you've found the perfect gift for someone, check prices online to see if you might be able to get it cheaper somewhere else. And of course, keep in mind, the new year is almost here too.
Some people might have their car insurance that's due again for their premium. You might have some special costs because your kids are going on a New Year's trip, or you just have something going on with your normal, regular household expenditures, right?
Or all the above. So watch your P's and Q's there. Many banks offer free resources to help you take charge of your finances and even divide your buys up into categories so you can see where you're spending your money the most. Well, the sheriff says our Grinch of the day needed to borrow a few things from his neighbor, but decided not to ask ahead of time. Toby Foster turned himself into law enforcement after being caught on camera doing this. Investigators say that that's him walking into an unlocked apartment in Polk County and then walking out with the ingredients to make a screwdriver. He stole a bottle of vodka and some orange juice. Foster is now charged with burglary of a dwelling and petty theft. Well, many people will be heading home for the holidays to spend time with their loved ones and just relax. But a new study finds that planning these trips turns a lot of people into a Grinch. Fox 35's Jennifer Williams shows us how. If there's no beach, it's not a vacation, at least for me. All right, coming up next, you may have had some good finds at the thrift shop, but I'd be willing to bet that you've never scored with something like this.
Fox 35 News is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Now, how about this one? A once-in-a-lifetime thrift find is making headlines today. The treasure is a rare Italian glass vase if you prefer. The unassuming item had a sticker price of $3.99 at the Goodwill store in Virginia. It sold last week at an auction for a whopping $107,000. The Wright auction house says the vase was designed by a renowned Italian architect, and it wasn't picked up from a random Goodwill. It was actually purchased by an Italian glass collector. All right, no, people have some good luck there. I never have any good luck. I don't find anything worth money, but some nice shirts occasionally, I guess, at Goodwill.
How about that return on an investment?
Right,
Man,
that is a good one.
How many percent return is that? I can't do that math in my head. Yeah, you're never going to see that in the stock market. That's euphoria. You know, you never know what you're going to find at a Goodwill or a flea market. I'll tell you what you're going to find tomorrow is it's going to feel very cold. In fact, you'll want a jacket in the morning. Those are the highs tomorrow: 58 in the city, 56 Leesburg, 56 in the villages. Here's the day planner tomorrow. Obviously, those highs would be between noon and 5, but it's going to feel frosty early. It's going to be bright tomorrow, other than maybe a cirrus cloud or two. You'll look up tomorrow to be 98, 99, 100% sunshine. Northeast winds sustain, though, 10 to 20 miles an hour, so it'll feel colder than it actually is tomorrow. The next system we're tracking arrives for the weekend. Here's Sunday on Christmas Eve. If you're flying west, I've already looked at all of the TAFs and all of the, or not the TAFs, excuse me, those would be current airport readings. I've looked at the airport forecast, the turbulence, everything. I can tell you there's probably going to be some air delays around Texas. I'm looking at the Dallas airport, Houston, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and it's mainly for wind followed by rain. So if you're flying on Christmas Eve and you're connecting anywhere around Texas or Louisiana, planning for some delays, potentially cancellations. As we go into Monday for Christmas, there probably will be some strong storms in the deep south, but we're going to have rain that comes across the peninsula at some point Monday, going into Tuesday, the 26th of next week. Does not look anywhere near as robust as the system we have for the weekend. So here's the rain projection through just the end of the day on Monday. Now, it's a computer model and it's a week in advance. This is going to move around by then, but just take the 30,000-foot view, a half an inch to maybe an inch or two of rain, which it is December. I mean, it's not normally a really wet time of the year. Then towards the end of next week, another system comes in, and by the 30th of December, we could have several more inches of rain that falls. Speaking of your Christmas climatology, 25 was the coldest Christmas ever in Orlando back in 1906, 86 the warmest just in 2015. 3.5 inches of rain fell in 1949. The average high historically is 72. I think we'll be pretty close to that this year. The average low is 51. And you see there for Christmas right now, we got 73, but that 50% chance of rain. So if you're sitting here listening to this, trying to plan out anything outside, there's going to be rain around, so just take that into your plans. Bright and chilly tomorrow. We're in the 50s. Breezy Wednesday, 10% chance of a shower over the next few days. And then, John, I hate to do this, but looks like the only rain chance the next 7 days will happen to fall on Christmas Day, the way it looks now.
Hey, at least there's no snow. Hey, thanks for watching the Late News at 11 tonight. Have a great evening. We'll see you back here tomorrow.